Do you agree?
Pardon?
Do you agree with the call?
That's a tough one. I think the only reason it remained a goal was coming down to just the resolution of those replays, and it not being conclusive, because that was as close as you can get. I personally think it was offside, but what made it more difficult now is that change of the rule that the skate blade no longer needs to be touching the ice. The blue line now extends vertically through the air, so it makes it a lot harder to determine. If Toronto says it's a goal, then I guess it's a goal, and I'll take it. I legitimately thought that one was coming back, but we'll take it for sure.
Yeah, we both thought that was. So we'll give Toronto, for the first time ever, we'll give Toronto an up for giving us a goal. How about that?
Yeah, that's fair. It was a really good read by Myers to see Suter in the middle there, wide open. The Canucks had tried that play a couple other times entering the zone. They were, I think there were a couple other plays before that they were well offside that got waved off, got lucky, but they were trying that quick entry a few times there towards the end of the period and got lucky on that one. And too bad we couldn't get another one there before the end of the period, but start the second on the power play and hopefully can push the momentum and keep the momentum we've been generating in the last kind of 5 minutes of that period here.
It's times like these that I kind of wish that the Canucks could decline a penalty. Because it seems like the power play is not doing them any help anyways. They got just over a minute left to go of the power play, I believe, to begin the second period, which is, nice to have the extra man on the ice to start, but sometimes I feel like that can throw you off. Are you worried about the start of the second period with the power play to start?
I'd like to see them start with 2 defensemen on the ice to start the second period with only 55 seconds left. I don't want to see them out there with their 4-man unit. I'm hoping that will kind of keep everything a little bit calm and they can push into Winnipeg's end a little more. One thing I'll give a huge up to is the penalty kill. Marcus Pettersson and Derek Forbort and Pius Suter did an incredible job on that 5-on-3, preventing Winnipeg from getting any major chances. The only dangerous chance they got was when Scheifele was kind of handcuffed on a one-timer there. I thought that one was going into the back of the net. He doesn't bobble those very often. But other than that, they did a really good job of keeping the puck to the outside and dumping it down when they had a chance. And then were able to follow up and kill the remaining of that 5-on-4 off as well. So really good stuff from the penalty kill, taking on the number 1 power play at home and neutralizing them on a 5-on-3. Like that's something that helped build the confidence for the team in the back half of that first period. Came out a little. They came out strong. Carlson there with a good chance on the doorstep. That line was looking good again out of the gate. It's tough. Winnipeg's just so fast, and we gotta win a few more races to the puck. But overall, a pretty good period against top team.
I feel like Scheifele probably missed that one-timer as a result of the vertigo he induced by throwing his head back so hard when he got touched on the face. So he might have still just been dizzy after. Oh my God!
Yeah,
it's from the grassy knoll.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the one on Sherwood looked pretty close to missing him too. So we'll call an eye for an eye on those high sticks.
I think the only difference is I think there was actual contact with Sherwood's actual face, whereas Scheifele got touched on the visor, right? So if you get touched on the visor like that and throw your head back, then that's just you trying to draw a call, which we all know Scheifele does on a regular basis because swear jar, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, he loves it. He loves to throw the head back, and yeah, it's nice that we were able to come out of that period up to 1-0. Face-offs pretty even, like you had said pregame they should be. One big difference is the hits are 20-6 right now, but that's pretty indicative of the puck possession that Winnipeg had in the first, I'd say 12 minutes of that game.
Mm-hmm.
They were pretty much in control. But that's kind of what you expect going into a home team's building that's kind of just been waiting for you. They're a really high caliber team. And so Canucks did a good job weathering the storm. Waiting for their opening, took the chance, got it, and we move on to the second period.
Ratu and Pius Suter both sitting at over 60%. Pius Suter sitting at 60% on the dot. Ratu sitting at almost 67% on the dot. So both of them looking good. Teddy Bluger again having a rough one, only 25%. And then the other center hasn't taken a faceoff yet, not Amon, or has lost all of them because he's at 0%. So we'll give an up to Ratu and Suter on the faceoff, and then a down to Bluger and Amon. But I don't even know, has Amon even taken a faceoff? Because there was lots of penalty killing and power plays in that period. So
it does not look like it. No.
Cool.
Oman is not taking a faceoff yet. DeBrusque is 0 for 1.
Yeah.
Sherwood also 0 for 1, so that drives the percentage down. Obviously, a couple of wingers coming in there to after wave outs, but yeah, Bluger at 25% and Suter and Ratu at 60 and 67.
All right. The Vancouver Canucks are offensive. And that is got a double meaning because, yeah, sometimes they are offensive to watch. But lately, in the last 2 weeks, they are actually the second highest scoring team in the entire NHL. The only team, shocker, that has more goals than them in the last 2 weeks is the St. Louis Blues. What has changed in the last 2 weeks for the Vancouver Canucks to be scoring? I mean, it's like they scored, 6 goals, like 2 of the last 3 games or something like that. Where did this all come from, Dustin?
I think part of it is Brock Besser taking a step back and doing some self-reflection and saying he needed to be better and finding another gear. Some of it was, Pettersson and Höglander and Besser finding some chemistry there. In the first week of this 2 weeks we're talking about, a lot of that was that first line finally getting some chemistry. It's post-trade deadline. Everything's the dust is kind of settled. And then in this last week, the young guys have really stepped up to fill in when needed in those injury pockets since losing Pettersson and Höglander as well. Some of it's desperation. It's been great seeing the puck go in the net, but the flip side of that is we still don't have as good a record or haven't really tightened up the goal differential much. And we're giving up more goals than we've seen ourselves give up in the last couple of weeks as well. So the defense has been struggling. Well, I wouldn't say the last 2 weeks. I'd say the defensively, we've been struggling a bit in our own end in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes with losing two very defensively responsible forwards in Niels Höglander and Elias Pettersson.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked about Pettersson's defensive play plenty and saying why it makes him so valuable. And we sure could have used him against Columbus when we were struggling to shut things down in our own end a bit. And it's been noticeable for sure. His absence is missed. He pushes the puck out of our zone often. I know the offensive numbers haven't been there, and that's upsetting. But he does bring a lot of stability in our own end to the forward group, and you can see how it's been missed in the last 3 games or so.
Yeah, you got a bunch of guys playing in a lot of spots that they're not used to. And it's not that they wouldn't be capable of that, but obviously it does take a little while for people to get into a groove being thrust into these new roles.
Yeah, and you see it on the power play most of all, is that top line power play just has no idea how to set up because when Hughes was out, Pettersson was running the power play pretty much. And now And when both of them are in, it runs between the two of them ever since Miller's been gone. So that drop pass used to go back to Petey, and Petey was the guy skating it up to the blue line, or Hughes was skating it in, finding Petey just inside the zone. Now it's going to Besser, who isn't used to that position, or it's going to DeBrusque, who isn't used to that. And if we don't win the draw off the power play, we're having a real hard time getting back into the offensive zone. And it's a big part of that is the loss of Pettersson and even Höglander as well, because he was a second line guy, second line power play guy, sometimes filling in on top line.
On the latest episode of Willander Watch, the Boston University Terriers have won again. They're going to the Frozen Four. Big win the other night against Cornell.
Big win against Cornell, and they will await the winners of UConn and Penn State, I believe. But yeah, an 8-3 win over Cornell University. The game started out kind of back and forth. Looked like it was going to be a close game, and then actually Aiden Celebrini getting the game winner, another Canucks prospect, with a secondary assist going to Tom Willander. So a big win for those Terriers headed to the Frozen Four, and that game will go on April 10th. So we will have to wait until at least then for any discussion about Wielander's contract or where he will end up. And at that point in the season, the Canucks will only have 3 games left. If the Terriers win, they will have to play on April 12th, which will leave the Canucks with 2 games left. So for all intents and purposes, the Willander Watch is pretty much, he's either going to play a few games down in Abbotsford and the playoffs, or he is going to be waiting until next season to take part in his first professional hockey games.
Would he be allowed to play in the AHL playoffs?
I believe so, because he hasn't played in the NHL, but right. I'm not. I'd have to double check it. If not, he's maybe only going to get 1 or 2 games with Abbotsford as well.
Right.
So we may not really see him until next year, because even if he goes till the 12th, they still have to finish the contract negotiations, and it makes it a little tougher when you can't throw in that signing bonus and say, oh, we'll get you in the lineup as quick as possible. The one benefit is it now looks like we won't have to burn the first year of his entry-level contract. But to sweeten the deal of him wanting to sign with the Canucks, we may have to add in some extra performance bonuses or things like that. We'll have to see where that goes once the team is actually allowed to negotiate. But for right now, wish him him and Aiden Celebrini the best of luck in their game on the 10th against whoever they shall meet.
Malholtra promotion? Question mark. The Abbey Canucks are on fire lately. Rick Tocchet has not signed an extension. Philadelphia has an open coaching spot. Maybe he ends up going home to Philadelphia. Could be a good fit for that team, but we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, do you think Malholtra is ready to take a step up and start coaching as a head coach in the NHL?
I think so. He's been an assistant coach in the NHL, and he's been a leader when he was in the league. He knows how an NHL room operates, and as a rookie head coach in Abbotsford, considering everything that's gone, if you think about the turmoil that the Vancouver Canucks have gone through this year with injuries and all sorts of lineup changes, you have to think about the ripple effect that has on Abbotsford. They haven't had their top guys for the majority of the season, and Malholtra has had to develop a system that functions under this patchwork. And twice this season, they have tied the franchise record for 9 wins in a row. And just this weekend, they pulled off another back-to-back victory to extend that streak to 9 in a row, and have solidified themselves into third place in the Pacific Division. for the playoff picture really is looking like they should have home ice advantage. And one of the major stats that I've noticed that we were just kind of talking about, goal differential. One of the main things, if you look in the NHL standings, there's one single team in a playoff position right now that has a negative goal differential, and it's the Minnesota Wild, and they are on a downward spiral. They have been struggling mightily. They're at a -9. Every single team right now in a playoff position is at a positive goal differential, pretty much 10 or higher. If you look in the East Coast, they got +3 and +2 in their wild card, but everyone else is higher than 10. So they're able to outscore their difficulties. When you look at the Abbotsford Canucks, Manny Malholtra has managed to coach them to a +28 goal differential. And that's with goaltenders coming in and out, top scorers coming in and out, top defenders coming in and out. So it's a testament to Justin Pogge and the work he's doing with our young goaltenders. Ty Young getting 8 wins in 11 starts in AHL as a rookie. And that goes with the defensive structure that he's put in front of the team. And it for me, if Tocchet does end up deciding to go and be part of the rebuild in Philadelphia, then I'm not super worried with who we have in the minors working with our prospects. I really think he'd be able to step in, has the respect of other hockey players because of the career he had and the way he played the game. He played with integrity and with heart and left it all on the table every time he was out there. And he was a huge leader in the locker room, a great friend and teammate. So really, I would really love to see what he could bring to the big club. But that being said, if Tocchet does decide to stay, I don't have a problem with him getting a little bit more head coaching experience and having one more season, because he's going to be going to the playoffs and stuff. Just see how far they can kind of get.
Mm-hmm.
And then next year, if he has, the healthy team again, see how far he can carry, the healthy Abbotsford Canucks to in a season. And then maybe after that season, he's ready for the promotion.
We'll get more in depth about the Abbey Canucks and their 2 wins. And then Swerve Irvin just donated $6.99. Wants to come up with 5 hopefuls from the Abbotsford Canucks. So maybe save that for the post-game show as well.
Sounds good. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Nothing is perfect.